New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
What Would Louise Say? Join us every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Hosted by Reverend Martine Bernard. Explore the wisdom of Louise Hay. Brought to you by New Thought Media Network. Dive into Louise's teachings. Experience healing and empowerment. Reverend Martine shares insights. Connect with a contemporary audience. Unlock your potential. Transform your life with love. Embrace positivity and healing. Join our vibrant community. Ready to join us? Let's spread love and wisdom together. Please like, share, and subscribe. Only on New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
Hello, 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 my beloveds. Happy season of light. Happy winter solstice. I'm so thrilled to be here with you today. And we have a wonderful guest. Let me tell you a little bit about our lovely guests and our sacred space. So we're back for another sacred episode of What Would Louise Say, the show where we look at life, healing, challenges, and transformation through the metaphysical lens of Louise Hay's teaching. So I'm your host, welcome. And today, oh my goodness, you are in for a powerful, tender, deeply inspiring conversation. Our guest today is someone whose heart and life has been shaped by Louise Hay in a very intimate and life-changing way. Loretta Whelan is a Heal Your Life coach, Reiki master, and holistic therapist with a vocation for inner transformation, compassion, empowerment, and spiritual healing. Loretta's first introduction to Louise was in 1999 when she was training for Reiki Level 1. So You Can Heal Your Life was a recommended reading, and we would love to bring her up and talk about this even more. So I'm so excited, so excited. Welcome, Loretta. Welcome.
Thank you, Reverend Martine. It's great to be here today.
Oh, it's so wonderful. Loretta, you are streaming in from
Dublin, Ireland.
Yes, yay, Dublin. I studied art history, so my brother used to live in the UK and hang out in Dublin, which has an amazing fashion and music scene and is very, very, especially right now with all, I think, one of the countries with the highest amount of English speakers who are working in technology, something interesting like that. So there's enormous exchange. And lots of Americans and folks visit Dublin, my beloveds. So Loretta, could you tell me a little bit about how you discovered Louise's work?
Yes. So back at a very early age, I was training for my first level of Reiki, and one of the recommended reading books was Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. And it was at that time where I was first introduced to her meditations and all of her different ways of thinking. And as I was quite young, I didn't fully embrace her book, but yet it piqued my interest. And I kept going back to it. And when I traveled then the following year, I was living in Crete, one of the largest Greek islands, for 3 mad holiday seasons, and then in the Netherlands for a year in The Hague. And I was always playing her meditations, and they always helped me keep calm and safe. It averted my mindset to anything negative I might have been thinking at the time. And it just blossomed and grew from then.
Oh, that's so exciting. So here you were, a younger woman, very inspired by her work and her meditations. And so I am so honored to have you here today. So what did you feel in those early encounters with her work, her meditations? What was it that drew you to her meditations?
It was just something very peaceful for me. It let me go inside and figure out really what am I feeling, who am I, and bringing out all the positive ways of thinking. Like it's only a thought. A thought can be changed.
Yeah.
But I dipped in and out over those years of traveling. But it was really when I came back to Dublin and I started working again where her work really came into play for me. And that was when I said, okay, that's it. I need to teach others this because it helped me change everything around in the most positive ways.
That's amazing. So that was the turning point because you can heal your life a lifeline, especially at one of the hardest moments of your life. So
Yes.
what shifted inside of you when you truly read it in that second
Yeah.
time?
So I did truly read it. It's a perfect way of describing it. So I was working in a mental health organization in a very heavy, toxic area. The staff weren't happy. The clients weren't happy because most of them were court ordered and they had to attend. But I could just feel this negative energy and it got me very, very down. And I just got very stuck and very enmeshed in that darker, heavier space. So I was put off work for a period of time and I saw the Louise Hay book nearly waving at me from the bookshelf. I took it out and I just went, oh my God, why didn't I read this sooner? But it was so powerful. It helped me take my power back. It made me decide I am not going to work in that space. I will find another more loving, environment that suits me better. And it just really developed from there because whilst I was working, I was studying at the weekends doing holistic massage, aromatherapy, Indian head massage, and reflexology. And I found my clients, as they built up over time, they were all coming to me with emotional and mental things that they were looking for help with. And I was constantly referring to the Heal Your Body book, affirmations. My Reiki was developing. I did all the different trainings in Reiki over those years as well.
Here's your beautiful website. So everyone, please go to Nurture Therapies because Loretta is a phenomenal coach who embodies the principles of Louise's worldview and philosophy. Please continue. I just wanted to speak to how gorgeous your website is.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So for me, I always wanted to nurture people and to help people. I've always had it in me since I've been extremely young. And this was a way for me to really help people much more deeply and profoundly. And I don't do any of the massage stuff anymore. I still do the reflexology and the Reiki, but the Louise Hay piece, doing the workshops, the group workshops and the individual coaching is just such a joy to do. And I know it helps me as well. Anytime something comes up, I'm like, okay, what's an affirmation I can use to mind myself in this? So I went to Birmingham and trained with Dr. Patricia Crane. And then the following year, I trained with Dr. Patricia Crane again, doing the coaching. And I remember getting up really early in the mornings because we did amazing meditations with Rick, and I love meditation. So they were fabulous. And it just really grew from there. And different opportunities came my way. There was a girl, an amazing lady called Shawneen Baker, who I met on the training and the coaching course. We happened to be synchronistically on the same courses. And 12 years later, she contacted me to ask me, would I help facilitate with their charity? with women who have gone through the conflicts in the north of Ireland.
Oh, wow.
And I was very honored to do this work, because even though Dublin is about 2 hours down from Belfast, we weren't affected by those troubles as these ladies were. But they do amazing work up there, and they're really inspirational and resilient. And these ladies are brought over to a little island, a different part of the north of Ireland, for the Louise Hay workshop. And we do amazing work with them. They're just fabulous. There's a little fairy forest on the island as well. And huge emotions come up, obviously with trauma, PTSD, anxiety, insomnia, the generational healing as well that's required for family members as they come down in age. And the beauty of it is with the amazing lady Shawneen and Irene, who set up the charity, and the other ladies that facilitate, we really cocoon these amazing women for that entire weekend. And you can see how all the different tools and techniques and exercises support them, allow them to grieve a bit more, to speak out loud in a safe space. And when they leave the island, they're going back across the water with a new beginning and a new story.
My goodness, Loretta. Very quickly, for those who are not familiar with would you call it the conflict that went on? Could you speak a little bit about it? Because I am so deeply and profoundly moved that you are bringing Louise's work and worldview to people who really need it, where there was great suffering emotionally.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Well, if I can just share the charity Bridge of Hope, which is an affirmation in itself, the Ashton Centre, they improve lives in the communities, and they help support people to reach their full potential and all of that side of things. But the troubles up in the north, as they were also called, was going back in historical times to when a piece of the north of Ireland was given to the United Kingdom. And then the divide in the religions of the Catholics and the Protestants, and all of the turmoil that caused, all of the bombings, all of the deaths, and just horrific times for those people.
It was really like a civil war, a bit of a civil war. Is that what you would describe it as?
I suppose it was, it's still, the energies are still there in the troubles up there. And, a lot of people would like a united Ireland. But then there are those who want to stay as part of the UK, part of the United Kingdom,
I see. I think what's so important, my beloveds, as we listen to Loretta speak about this,
excuse me,
the conflicts in Palestine, Israel, Ukraine, Congo, is that we know and visualize and see a world that is expressing oneness. That can be a reality, but it begins in the mind of humanity, and we have to see it. And especially during this holiday season, Loretta, let's just take a moment. We're going to just take a moment, both you and I, as spiritual teachers, and we're going to just, even with our eyes open, imagine the planet. There's nothing to fear. Louise would say, all is well. Everything is working out for our highest good, and we are safe. So we know that for our beloved planet, Gaia, Mother Earth, and we know it for all of the beings, all of humanity, all of the plant life, all of the mineral life, all of the animals, the sentient beings. We know it for the energy on the planet. All is well, and everything is working out for our highest good, and we are safe. And Loretta is on the forefront of this very, very powerful work. I'm so deeply impressed and I'm deeply, deeply moved. I'm also just so thrilled that these women, who are the mothers, the creators of culture, the mothers, the aunties, the sisters, the friends, we pass down culture to the next generation. So when we are on the leading edge, society changes for the better, the world changes for the better. And I'm in such great gratitude, Loretta, for the fact that you're doing this work. How beautiful. And
Well,
that
I
these,
yeah.
yes,
I'm very honored to be doing this work, with these ladies. At least I feel I can help now. Um, I remember my parents speaking about it when it happened when I was a young child, the kind of height of it, and they always used to just say, "Just please pray for peace." So I feel at least I can give something back now. Um, that maybe I wasn't aware of all those years ago, but I feel very blessed and very lucky to be co-facilitating with those other amazing ladies up there.
that's phenomenal. Can you tell me about? I know that you've recently gone through a loss. You've gone through the loss of your parents, and
Yes.
how that experience of your parents' transition, on this plane we call it a loss, but we know that love never dies and that we are infinite, timeless beings, and that life goes on and on and on infinitely. But regardless of that, our hearts and
Hmm.
our bodies, our soma, miss our loved ones. So, could you talk about how this experience
Yeah.
has deepened your connection to Louise's work and your work in the world?
Yeah, no, it really has, because I did do an affirmation that I was wishing to be with both of my parents when they passed over. And that happened synchronistically on both of those occasions.
Oh,
And I ask that every healing hand that touches them would help them in all the different ways that they need help. And I could accept that my parents were at the end of their lives. They've lived long lives and they were suffering. And, naturally, you go back to that little inner child place where you're like, oh, I don't want my mom or dad to go anywhere.
yeah.
But they passed within 6 months of each other. So it was a really deep hit,
Yes.
um where you go through the different phases of grief, and but yet at the same time, with Louise's work, it helped me to honor all of the beautiful memories and all of the beautiful guidance they gave me, and just to accept, it is a part of life and part of our experiences.
Exactly.
So with all of the different tools, I was very grateful for my parents. I was very grateful for those who looked after them in the hospitals. My father died in COVID. It was when COVID, a few months into COVID, and we weren't allowed to visit him in hospital. And that was really, really hard because I knew he wasn't far away.
Yes.
And I did lots of affirmations around it. And twice I was let in to see him in the hospital when nobody was being allowed in.
My God.
So I was very grateful for all of that. And then, like I mentioned, the moments where both my mom and my dad passed over, I was with them in the room.
That's
So
wonderful.
very, very lucky and blessed.
So, what do you think Louise would say about grief, pain, and loss of dreams? Because people, it's not just losing people. Sometimes we lose a dream,
Yeah.
where something was possible, and now we have to stand on the precipice of the new. But it's hard to let go of the past. What would you say as a Heal Your Life coach to our viewers who might be feeling grief at this time? During the holiday season, many of these emotions can be,
Yeah.
yes,
Well, what I would say, and I think it would tie in with Louise's work, is to honor your feelings. Allow yourself be sad. Allow yourself take the time out if you want to. Find ways to nurture yourself, if that's walking in nature or listening to nice music or writing a letter to your loved one that has passed. And just really trying to make the most of the different occasions. Lighting a candle in honor of them is truly beautiful, or to plant something in the garden or on your windowsill or your little balcony or wherever you are, or even within the home, to have something that's alive representing them. And the big thing for me was about feeling safe. I am safe. It's only change. Out of this, only good will come. And sometimes we don't feel like saying the affirmations
Yes.
or whatever if we're in the depths of heavy grief. However, there will come a point quite quickly for me, actually, to keep coming back to them. It just centers me down again. The meditations help. Visualizing happy times with them is another lovely one as well. And sometimes we'll meet them in our dreams, where I feel their spirit can come in.
That's right. I am safe. It's only change.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
safe. It's only change. I
Yeah.
think that is one of Louise's most profound teachings.
Yes.
We love to say we're so excited by change. Even good change can be very, very nerve-wracking for many of us. And that affirmation is so powerful. It's only change, and I'm safe. Thank you. Thank you so much for that profound, profound sharing about the transition of your parents and how many times we don't feel like saying affirmations. We have our little ribbon underneath. If you would like to become a Heal Your Life workshop leader and coach, please go to your healyourlifetrainings.com. We've had our beloved Dr. Patricia and Rick, I call him the modern shaman and mystic, on our show. And Anna, oh, yes, thank you, Loretta and Rev Martine, for the inspiration you're sharing. I think that's Dr. Patricia who's watching right now. Is
Yes.
both of our mentors. We love you, Dr. Patricia. So, Loretta, we are going to take a quick little break.
Okay.
Be right back. And this is Rev Martine on the What Would Louise Say show on the New Thought Media Network.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center, Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living, North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living, Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
Well, hi there on this Giving Tuesday. I am Reverend Michael Mangus. I'm one of the assistant ministers here on your New Thought Media Network. Happy holy days, happy holiday season. And today is Giving Tuesday, in which nonprofits from across the United States and also around the world, they encourage you to give. And today I'm encouraging you to give to this wonderful network. Just go to ntmedia.org/donate. Your contribution really makes a difference in changing the world. And I know that with a lot of the things that are on the news, that it seems to be pretty dark right now. However, that we are the light here on your network. We're here to support you and love you. We have over 40 hours a week of positive programming, including this one, What Would Louise Say? Again, all of these programs are made possible because of your generous donations. The host on these programs, they do donate on a regular basis. However, it only covers a fraction of the production cost. What makes up the rest is your generous donation. So again, ntmedia.org/donate. Very easy, very quick to do so. You can do a one-time donation today, or you can do like I do, and that's give on a monthly basis. We are changing the world by being the light. So again, ntmedia.org/donate. And again, thank you very much.
What Would Louise Say? Join us every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Hosted by Reverend Martine Bernard. Explore the wisdom of Louise Hay. Brought to you by New Thought Media Network. Dive into Louise's teachings. Experience healing and empowerment. Reverend Martine shares insights. Connect with a contemporary audience. Unlock your potential. Transform your life with love. Embrace positivity and healing. Join our vibrant community. Ready to join us? Let's spread love and wisdom together. Please like, share, and subscribe. Only on New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
Hello, and we are back with our wonderful guest, Loretta Whelan, who is a Heal Your Life coach in Dublin, Ireland. Oh, it's so exciting to have Loretta here with us, who is sharing about her rich experience in teaching and coaching Louise Hay's worldview and philosophy. I think she's basically on the front lines of helping those who've gone through the suffering that comes when there are political conflicts. And thank you for your work with the women of Northern Ireland, Loretta. And could you please maybe describe how you integrate your Reiki, your holistic teaching or coaching with Louise's philosophy? Because you're also a Reiki master and a holistic health coach, correct?
Holistic reflexologist.
Holistic
Yeah,
reflexologist. Yes.
because I
Thank
don't
you.
massage anymore. But
Yes.
anyway, so basically, when I'm with a client one-to-one or online, or if I'm doing my own workshops in Dublin, or in the north of Ireland, I send the healing light forward. And I imagine that there's beautiful healing energy flowing through whatever building that we're in, whatever room we're in through and around each and every person, including all of the facilitators. And I usually light incense and candles, but a lot of places don't allow candles anymore, but we can get a sneaky even one in,
Yes.
just to bring the real light in. And I would just, dedicate time ahead of time to those times with people. And on a daily basis, I will, send the light forward before I work with anybody on any given day as
That's
well.
beautiful.
Mm.
That is beautiful. I will be borrowing that from you. We can set intentions, my beloved ones. If you're in a business, if you are a coach, entrepreneur, artist, you can send out a soul call. I feel that that's what Loretta is doing, where you can invoke the divine light. You can invoke all of the people that you are attracting to whatever it is that you are gifting the world with, because whatever your call is a gift. So thank you for that reminder, Loretta. I wanted to speak to you about your journey through IVF and how you were able to use the Heal Your Life principles to manifest your family and to go through the difficulties that
Yes.
come up for women when
Yeah.
they are, or there's
Yeah.
identify as feminine who are going through IVF?
Yes, it was a very lengthy journey over the course of about 7 or 8 years. We did one treatment in Dublin, and then the rest were over in Barcelona in Spain. The clinics were a lot more advanced there, but I use a lot of affirmations, sending healing to my body, visualizing healing light coming all the way down through my body, sending like a welcoming energy into my womb, because I was an older lady going through IVF, and a lot of the a lot of the different tests you go through aren't particularly pleasant, but each time I would do my affirmations around doing, having the best possible outcome. I would imagine that there was beautiful healing energy in all the medication and the injections, which I hate injections, but I told myself, I love injections. This has helped me in every possible way.
Yes.
And just put my foot forward for every essence of, just say, the Barcelona journey, ahead of the airplane flight, ahead of where we were staying, ahead of all of the dealings with the nurses and the doctors in the fertility clinics, reaching out that the best possible quality embryo would emerge. And we actually went through multiple rounds of IVF. The IVF rounds that failed, I just had to acknowledge that perhaps this just wasn't the right time, even though it's very disappointing and you have to go through that. I just said, we'll try again. We used to find and manifest the funds each time, because it's a very expensive process over here. We don't get it for free. And well, they've brought something small in Ireland now, but it's very kind of tiny options around it all. So I certainly wouldn't have been covered back then. And, we had 3 successful pregnancies that ended in early losses. So we had to honor those, and just getting our hopeful hat back on again, to keep going with the journey. So we did fall pregnant with my son Roman, and I had a premature birthing experience with him. He was a premature baby, and he was alive for 2 weeks, so he had 2 weeks on this earth. And he did make me a mom at age 47.
Yes.
So I am a mom.
Yes.
Yeah,
And he's your angel. He's also.
He absolutely is. I can feel him around me all the time, so I'm very lucky. He's brought me lots of gifts in his own way, but it was a very difficult time, because myself and my husband always wanted a child, and here we were pregnant with this beautiful boy who was doing very well, and then all of a sudden decided to come into the world very, very early. So basically he died, his bowel just died, basically. So that was it. He got sepsis. There was nothing else wrong with him. He wasn't paralyzed or had any other disorder. It was just, he just needed more time in the womb. And I think that was probably the most difficult time of my life. We were with him in the NICU, the neonatal intensive care unit, every day for those 2 weeks. And we kept being reminded he's a very sick baby. But I kept doing all the affirmations. I had miraculous medals, holy medals on his incubator. I had crystals underneath him. I had orasome. I had healers from all over the world in different time zones sending him healing and prayers. So I know I did absolutely everything that I possibly could. And then sadly we were called in, and once again I got my wish that I was with my son when he passed over. So that was my mum, my dad, and my son Roman. So those precious seconds where the soul lifts out, or the spirit lifts out into the soul, I was very, very lucky to be there at all of those moments.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
that requires such spiritual resilience.
Mm-hmm.
Have had I have a minister mentor who always says that we pray for what we want, but we accept what we receive. So
Yeah.
as new thought, positive thinking, we affirm what we desire, but the universe is also a mysterious and
Yeah.
glorious place.
Yes.
Don't have it all down.
Yeah.
Louise was downloading much of a deeper understanding of universal laws, but that is just the tip of the iceberg.
Absolutely.
What resilience! I mean, that you've had those moments of awakening.
Yeah.
Some people get examinations, and then some people get quadruple. And you have learned to. You're an example of the spiritual resilience that comes when we face multiple losses.
Yeah.
And there's something, you are no longer just living from the small self, but you have awakened through the dimensions to the higher self, the
Yeah.
quantum
Yeah.
self, because you've been forced to take a quantum leap. So I applaud you for your resilience. I applaud you for the joy and the hopefulness and the love the gladness. There's a wonderful Afro American gospel song that says, I have the joy that the world couldn't give me and the joy that the world cannot take away. It's a spiritual vibration
Beautiful.
that just keeps us on the path. And I
Yeah.
know Louise would just love, 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 love that.
Yeah.
So, Loretta, what would Louise say about this experience, these experiences, your experience as a coach?
Yeah.
What would you convey to someone who's also going through tremendous loss, and
Yeah.
women who are going through IVF, and ultimately maybe it's not as successful?
Yeah, and it happens, and even with my own loss of Roman, there is so many neonatal and stillbirth situations that happen. We thought we were unique in that, but sadly we're not. It's very common. So for me and Louise, I reckon, it was always that love is eternal, love never goes away. And even though I did go off track a little bit, I was like, none of this is working, but of course it was. I became a mom, I got pregnant, I gave birth with no pain relief, by the way. Not my choice, not my choice, but I did it. I did it.
Brave lady.
But we can feel stuck and terrified and resentful and critical, but
Yes.
we can also, with Louise's philosophy, be illuminated. It's like a piece of music. It's nearly like the silence in between the music notes. That's where the magic happens. And I would just encourage everybody to just really honor their feelings through all of this. When I was angry and sad and a whole ball of emotion, I danced at home. I went back to my days in Greece. I listened to trance music.
Yes.
I went mad dancing because I had to let it out. I needed to let it out.
Yes.
Cried. I
We pound the pillows.
all of that.
Pillows. It's so important,
Yes.
beloveds who are watching, to know that one of the biggest tools in the spiritual toolbox of our 2-day class,
Mhm.
that our teachers, our trainers, and coaches speak about is the pounding of the pillows.
Yes, fabulous.
It's fabulous. Louise said that she would pound the pillow weekly to release any subconscious anger. We're not always aware, and
Yeah.
especially those of us who identify as female, as women, we can embody, all of us have anger releasing to do. But
Yeah.
many times we're taught to be good girls, polite girls, not to get upset. And so a lot of that gets suppressed in the body temple and in the nervous system and needs to be released.
Yes.
Yes.
The other thing I used to do was I used to imagine little me, my inner child on the palm of my hand, my mum, my dad, and my son Roman. And I would just place them in my heart, knowing that we were all safe and we were all together.
Oh, that's
So
beautiful.
yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. So what I would say to somebody going with, dealing with grief, everybody deals with it in a different way. When my parents died, my husband could help me, but when our son died, we were both grieving differently. And it's to honor that we don't all grieve in the same way. And oftentimes people don't know what to say to you. But what I would say for anybody who has lost a child, in particular, please use the child's name. We love talking about Roman. I know we can have memories about my parents, but with my son, we can only visualize maybe what he might like for Christmas, or what school he might be in, or what foods he might like to eat. Actually, it's coming up to his 4th birthday on the 15th of December.
Oh,
And just one other, if you don't mind me sharing this,
please.
when he passed, we were allowed to bring him home it's called a cuddle cot, but it has a cold mattress to keep the temperature cold. And we got to have him at home for 5 days, because he born the 15th of December and died on the 29th of December. So it was over that Christmas period. So we got to keep him until the 6th of January. We had 5 days with him. So we could show him off to people, because he was the most beautiful baby, and show him around the house, so that was part of all the positive thinking and the visualizations that Louise would, guide us to do.
That's right. You were able to manifest that, because the loss is also the child being taken away so quickly. Here you are, you've given birth to this beautiful baby, this beautiful little one, and then with the lot, the body can be removed. What spiritual maturity, what spiritual dominion. I mean, and how lovely that the Irish culture, and most European and other cultures have a very, I think, healthy relationship to transitions, to death.
Yeah.
And not having the fear of the child's or the person's body. I remember being in the south of France, and my then boyfriend's grandfather passed away in his house. He'd been a farmer for many years, wonderful man. And the body was laid up in the house, and we partied and drank wine, sang, and people leaned on his body and chatted with him. It was several days of an open house party with his physical temple, his body temple there. And what was so interesting, I felt his presence. I felt his energy throughout the whole house, as though he was with us. And it was so powerful, and it was so healthy. When we'd cry all together, then we'd laugh, then we'd dance and have great food. It was a huge party, a celebration of life. And Loretta, it's wonderful to know that you were able to do this with your wonderful, wonderful little one.
Oh, absolutely. And even the dogs, we had 3 dogs at the time. They used to mind his crib. So they were aware of him as well. So it's been a different journey than I thought. But look, we get through everything, and I know that was part of Roman's path. It was part of what I must have agreed to do before I came down to this earth, and I often wonder. But, he did make me a mom, and we will celebrate his birthday on his birthday. We'll go into the city centre and do some nice Christmassy things and things like that, and we'll honour him on his anniversary. And it's the same for Christmas. We'll honour my parents as well, and all of our loved ones that have gone. So
the legacy of love that is love never dies, and it's never forgotten. Once again, here is Loretta's wonderful website. She is a master coach, someone who has overcome transitions, death, the loss of loved ones, and who still has the joy that the world cannot give you, and the joy that the world cannot take away, is a master teacher, beloveds. She works internationally. She works in Ireland and the UK, but you can have access to this master coach, heal your life coach, Loretta Whelan. It says here, bless you, Loretta, for sharing your personal journey and all the ways you shared Louise's work and other healing modalities, from Dr. Patricia. Thank you, Dr. Patricia.
You.
Yes. You know, the hardest part about the holiday, or these high holiday season of light festivals, winter solstice, Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, is that many times many people feel deep sorrow over loss, and it's not recognized. So people feel
Yeah.
as though they have to be fake happy and
Yes.
smiling all the time, and
Yeah.
that there's something wrong with them or their lives if loss is being brought up. This is all of the shadow work that brightens the inner light,
Yeah.
beloved. That brightens the light in the darkness. So we
Mhm.
have to be willing to know that the shadows can look so big, but ultimately it's just us. It's that little inner child and the spirit of the Most High, of God, of Source, of the quantum, of infinite life, loving intelligence, however you name that presence that is never an absence. And that as we do this deep work and recognize it and not be in denial, healing takes place and more light fills the consciousness. I also know that there is a wonderful book by Louise that was written by with her and co-authored with one of the best grief counselors. I want to
David,
say
David
love.
Kessler. Yeah.
Yes, I forget the name of it, but that is a book, my beloveds. I know there's a big heart on it.
It's You Can Heal Your Heart.
You can heal your
Yeah.
heart. Yes, I have it on my bookshelf. That is a perfect book for anyone who's re-experiencing the loss of a relationship. Breakups, divorces can be triggering. The
Job
loss of love,
even.
jobs, yes. The body, when our body goes through a health opportunity, like I did last year, there can be feelings of loss. There is nothing wrong with those feelings. Bring them to the inner light. Some
Yeah.
people call it the Christ light within, or the Buddha light, God light, the quantum light within, to be healed. Because there is a light in the darkness, beloveds. There's a light at the end of that tunnel. And Loretta is a shining example of that. Loretta, I'd like to ask my guest before we end the interview to give 3 tips that people can use at this time, because there's so much happening on the planet. There's so much happening in the political realm, and I think that there's just lots of fear on the planet right now.
Yeah.
What are 3 tips you could share with our beloved viewers?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel there's always a bigger picture going on. And once we start with ourselves first, because we need to put our oxygen mask on first before anybody else, is I am safe, I am at peace, everything always works out in the end. I am
Yes,
doing my best. I love and accept myself exactly as I am. And it's only a thought, and a thought can be changed.
and
And I
all
think,
is well. Yes.
yeah, and all is well. And I think we need to allow ourselves deserve as well. The deservability piece is so important. We deserve to be happy. We deserve to be loved and loving and have all the good that life has to offer. So that is what I would share. And just, we really never know what's going on for somebody, what's happened to them or what's going on with them, but just to be more compassionate and kind, and just stepping outside of an energy zone you don't want to be around, but just still sending that love forward.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. There's a wonderful deservability prayer treatment, Louise's treatment, as we call them. We're treating for the consciousness. The same way you take vitamins or medications as a treatment, prayer and positive thinking are a treatment. So there's a deservability treatment in the Heal Your Life workbook. I'm going to make a note that we're going to have a show on deservability, knowing that all is well, I'm doing my best, I am safe, everything's working out for my highest good. Saying those in front of the mirror, as you were saying that, I can see you, my beloved, saying this in front of the mirror, holding yourself, giving yourself a hug, giving that inner child a hug right now. It's really important. And knowing that it's okay. I think what's been so powerful about my interview with Loretta, a masterful Heal Your Life coach, is that grief is okay. There's nothing wrong. It's healing. And when we allow ourselves to go through the 5 phases of grief and we circle back around, it is part of committing to that deeper work that brings forth the healing, the light. And so, Loretta, could you tell us your email and the address for your website, please?
Yeah, so my email address is info@nurturetherapies.ie, and the website is www.nurturetherapies.ie, and my Instagram is Loretta_nurture_therapies.
Wonderful. Do you have any workshops coming up soon? Do you coach? Please give us some information.
Yeah, sure. So, well, the next workshop I'll be doing will be up the north of Ireland at the end of January. So they already arranged for the people to come to that. So March will be my next own workshop in Dublin, in a lovely space called the Calm Rooms. And the coaching is ongoing because I'm available online and in person if somebody's able to come. That's available midweek, Monday to Fridays.
Wonderful. And you're available across time zones via
Yeah.
Zoom or wonderful internationally.
International, yes.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Loretta. Loretta Whelan is a masterful Heal Your Life coach in Dublin, Ireland. Please check out her website. And it has been an honor having you on the show today, giving us the golden nuggets of, of resilience, of optimism, of transcending losses and staying anchored in the love and the light. Thank you so much, beloveds. Thank you, Loretta. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much.
And this is Reverend Martine Bernard. And this is our wonderful show, What Would Louise Say, on the New Thought Media Network.